Rob Thomson has been fired as the Philadelphia Phillies manager. Don Mattingly will replace him as the interim manager. Initial thoughts, just it had to be done right. And I've said this on numerous episodes. Is Rob Thompson the root cause of these problems? No. However, he did play, I would say, a pretty significant part into the start of the season, because I always say a manager's job is to have his boys ready, right? Especially after the way last season ended. And I just think he did not put the emphasis enough on not only fundamentals, but just overall energy of how to start a year. And before I get into, why the Phillies let him go, why I agree with the decision, I do want to give Rob Thompson his praises, because Rob Thompson, for all his postseason blunders, for all what has happened this year, Rob Thompson is one of the best managers in Philadelphia Phillies history. And that is undisputed. What he did in 2022, bringing that group of ball players together after the Girardi firing, it was unbelievable. And then 23, 24, 25, he was one of the best regular season managers of all time. And this year, not so much so, but last year, I'll be honest, he almost managed a perfect regular season. We all know what happened in the playoffs against the Dodgers. I've criticized those moves so many times. 24 against the Mets, not starting Wheeler in game 4, not showing a sense of urgency. 23, Craig Kimbrell Diamondbacks, not pinch hitting someone for Rojas in the 4th inning. However, you can't discredit what he has done for the city and what he has done for this group of ball players. However, there's so many times in sports when you have to fire a really good coach to get them over the hump. Now, in my opinion, I think it's a little too late. But you look at the Warriors, right, when they had Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson was a damn good coach. And they brought in Stephen Kerr, and they went on a dynasty run to where I think it needed to be done, but I would be remiss if I did not give him his praise. Rob Thompson is one of the best human beings that has ever been around this organization. He rode for his guys for 4, 5 years, constantly defending them to the media. He had their backs, and I firmly believe the players this year did not have his back, and that's unfortunate. But going through it now, I applaud the Phillies organization for the first time in a while for having a sense of urgency of what is in front of them. They're 9-19. They have a stretch coming up: 3 against the Giants, 4 against the Marlins, 3 against Oakland, Las Vegas, Sacramento, whatever, 3 against Colorado. But what I think the management really saw, and what all Philadelphia Phillies fans saw, was this team needed a new voice. This team needed a new message, to where if you didn't make this decision now, you weren't going to make it the rest of the season. And even if they did, right? Let's say you keep Topper and they go on a run to where they're like 500 and they're, what's the word? I don't know, 13-30 or whatever. And you make the move then. The season's already over. This was their last bullet they could push in order to save the season. Are they going to do it? I don't know. But what this does now is this puts the pressure all back on Dave Dombrowski, because he's fired a second manager. The roster construction is all on Dave Dombrowski. But what it really does, and the most important part, this puts the emphasis back on the players. You got Rob Thompson fired. And I hope they take that to the ballpark today and use it on the field and go off on a run similar to 2022. Are they going to do it? I don't know. However, I do think if they go 10-3 in the stretch, which is very possible, combine that with the fact that they just got their manager fired, the Phillies can easily get back into this race, to where the starting pitching has always been the calling card for this team. And I think the starting pitching is going to be much better. Jesus Luzardo is a big X factor in that, and he starts today against the Giants. Christopher Sanchez is not going to be this bad. Zach Wheeler looked like Zach Wheeler on Saturday night in Atlanta. Andrew Painter, for as much as people have been criticizing him, I think he's done a damn good job. Aaron Nola is what Aaron Nola is. But if this lineup gets their act together, and what I'm also very excited about is, what is the lineup going to be? Because Don Mattingly now has a chance to do whatever the hell he wants. You could see a Bryce Harper in the leadoff spot. You could see Trey Turner batting third. You could see Justin Crawford leading off, to where what I think that also does, it gives Don Mattingly the ability to try stuff, because a lot of fault to Rob Thompson was He just stayed status quo with the lineup, with his bullpen decisions. He never had, I would say, the guts to go crazy in a sense of either a regular season change or a postseason change. He just kind of sat on his hands and was like, everything's going to be okay. Well, everything is not okay. And that is why, unfortunately, I don't even know if I want to say unfortunately, because from a human element, it sucks when someone you like, someone who the city likes, loses their job, but it's what had to be done for this team to win baseball games. So that'll kind of do it. My immediate thoughts, I'm very excited. Intrigued is the word. Intrigued to see the press conference when Don Mattingly or Dave Dombrowski introduces Don Mattingly as the Phillies' new manager. Very intrigued to see what the lineup is going to be tonight. But the Philadelphia Phillies have a real chance to get back into this race. This was the first step. However, if things continue to go awry, the next person that needs to go is Dave Dombrowski. Because at the end all be all, from a management side, he is the one to blame. And I need him to take accountability in that press conference. And if he doesn't, I'll be back on here later today screaming my head off. But let me know what you guys think about Rob Thomson being fired as a Phillies manager, Don Mattingly coming in to replace him. Dusty Wathan is going to be the new bench coach, and then they called up someone from AAA to be the new third base coach. Okay, so as always, go Phils.